Hello there, I'm Kevin with another one of Dasco's efficient money-saving solutions. What we're showing today is a Cab A4+M. The M at the end of it means that you've got guides on the machine that move the stock through the center of the machine, mid-mounted. And that way when we lock the print head down, it doesn't rock this way, it sits right smack in the middle. It's a nice printer made for printing, continuous shrink sleeve tubing. And what we're doing today specifically is a customer sent in some samples that they want to see whether it prints on our machine using our ribbons and software. The software I'm using is a NiceLabel software. I've got the format set up right now for about a 1/2 inch wide by 1 inch high. It's going to feed this way. I've got my type rotated so it's right there. And I have printed this with a resin ribbon on the stock my customer sent in. We are using a wax ribbon, a little softer compound for the ink and the printing, but that's because we had noticed that on one of the label stocks that was sent in, it didn't print very well with the resin ribbon. And so we had to use a wax ribbon. It's a softer, transfers more easily. What I've got right now is one length of pre-flattened stock. And this is going to go through the printer just fine, just the way it is. The concern my customer had was that they had a bunch of stuff that is not pre-flattened. This is pre-flattened stock, and so it goes through the printer and goes into the cutting area real fine. It goes right straight through. When the stock is not pre-flattened, like this, not being pre-flattened, it's round, it's going to go through the print head, and as it goes into the cutter area, it expands up and gets blocked right there. It's jammed up right there. So what we're going to be doing is just perforating between labels, no cutting, just perforating, and so that the label is going to come out in a continuous length, and it'll be perforated between, so it can still be easily separated. But because it's connected like that, it comes out and stays in one piece. It will not expand up and block or get jammed up in there. So we've got, first of all, our P5 version. This is I'm just doing 4 of each, and enter. And because, okay. This was the pre-flattened stock. Again, it perfs off really easily, and it opens up to whatever they would need. So that is my customer stock, the pre-flattened. Now, going to insert the widest diameter unflattened stock. And sometimes this is a little bit of a bear to get through because it is not flattened, and so it just takes a little bit of more monkeying around to get it to feed through. And then I've got to get it down inside the cutter area. Like I say, when it's not pre-flattened, it is a little bit more of a job. Now I'm going to just show this. Taking the cutter off is a simple cotter pin to take it off. I'll pull this out. I'm going to put it through the cutter so I know it's through the cutter. And hook it back on. I've got it set now, and we're going to be pulling up my format that I chose here for this. And I'm opening up the 0.25 label, and this one's got the 12/13 that you had on there. And again, we've got this set up, so I'm going to print. Again, we're just perfing between here. If I would be cutting this would be jamming up every time. And so I've got it perfing between all items so we can separate real easily and it's not jamming. And that's because we are not cutting it. And that's because it is not pre-flattened. Now we'll do the smallest diameter one now too. So I'm going to take that and load that up now. Okay, now I'm going to open up my format that I created for that shrink tubing size. I created a small 0.157, and this one you had one of the samples was 3 space W/org, so I just put the same stuff in there. Perfing between, so it's pulls apart just fine. But using a wax ribbon, we do get, I'm scrubbing on this with my thumbnail, and it does smear when it's rubbed on quite vigorously with the thumbnail. I don't know if that's a concern. We can use a resin ribbon and it becomes much more smudge resistant than with a wax ribbon. But the wax will transfer onto almost anything, so it's a catch-all ribbon. What I want to show now is how easy it is to print 1, 2, 3, 4 of this or that and change to a different format. I just, for the hecker, put in 32/13. It was 12-13, but I just changed it to that just to show we changed. Printed about 3 or 4 labels, and now I'm going to go back to the software over here and change this to 32. I'm going to change it to 3243. I don't even know what those numbers mean in your case, but that's what I'm just going to change them to. Now on the screen I've got my 3243, and let's just say I wanted to print 4 of those. Okay, I'm asking for 4 there. I'm going to go down to my print column here, and I've got you see what we did, 3213, 3243, and you saw how little it took for us to change. And I could have done 4, I could have done 6, I could have done 106 of those different labels. Another thing that's showing up here on this stock as it's going through is because it is not pre-flattened, we're getting some roll, and we're getting a little bit of transfer of the ink onto the tubing. But it is still printing, and I can go back and forth now and change it to however many I want and whatever I want to print on there. Right, what we did here, we showed the printer. We showed that it runs through the middle. We showed that it prints on your label stocks with a wax ribbon. We showed the software that we were using over here and how easy it was to change from this to that, and however easy it was to print however many we wanted of any one of them. So a combination of the software and this center-mounted A4+M cab printer prints on your labels or your shrink tubing stocks. Give Dasco Label a call toll-free at 1-877-85-LABEL. We'll help you find label solutions for your application.